Your trip with hubby to Guam sounds awesome. What do you want for a souvenir? I can almost see my sister's smirking face on what seems like a scandalous getaway. Yet, without anger, I calmly respond. I'm currently busy with your daughter's funeral. Plus, my husband is right here. What? Shocked by my words, my sister, literally flying back on a plane, finds upon her return. My name is Samantha. A 29-year-old working housewife. Though I've only recently started identifying as a housewife. In fact, I'm fresh off the boat of newlyweds, having tied the knot just a few days ago. My husband, Greg, and I were colleagues, growing close through work until we finally crossed the finish line together. But, given our workaholic nature, we saw a wedding ceremony as a waste of time and opted for a simple registration. We've discussed maybe doing a photo shoot in a wedding dress, but with the busy season, now's not the time. Why marry during such a hectic period? It was all about timing. Busy though we were, we anticipated even busier times ahead, and delaying marriage seemed inefficient. A loveless, cool marriage? Oh, no. That's not the case. We're determined never to mix work with personal life. At the office, we're the ultimate workaholics, but at home, we switch gears completely. At home, we're the sweetest of newlyweds. Though we skipped the ceremony, we made our rounds of family greetings. Both sets of parents accepted our decision to forego a wedding as a modern. For relatives, a simple announcement card sufficed. That's how smoothly our marriage proceeded, save for one issue. The problem? My sister, Lily, 5 years my senior. She's settled now, but was once notorious for her wild love life, at least, in my book. Worse, she had a habit of taking what wasn't hers. In a typical sibling dynamic, the elder is expected to be considerate of the younger. But not Lily, she twisted this expectation into what's mine is mine, and what's yours is also mine. For instance, she stole my first boyfriend when I was in middle school. A childish romance, yet she swooped in with, "Oh, isn't he cute," and took him from me. My boyfriend, just 14, was taken by my 19-year-old sister. Unthinkable for most, but not for Lily. After getting bored, she'd break up with them, turning this into a twisted game of taking from me. Heartbroken, I spent a long time single until a boyfriend came along in my senior year of high school. Though it was more a comforting presence during a busy exam period than anything special. Yet, upon seeing us studying together at home, my sister, now a working adult, returned. "Oh, isn't he cute?" Repeating that infamous line, she took yet another boyfriend from me. Why do they go so easily? Well, unlike my sister, I inherited our father's ordinary looks, just an average face. In contrast, my sister inherited our grandmother's beauty through a skip-generation gene transfer, even surpassing our beautiful mother. I hate to admit it, but my sister is truly beautiful. Moreover, without any exercise or dieting, she still maintains a great figure. For someone like me, who can't lose weight despite desperate dieting, it's utterly frustrating. And let's face it, teenagers often choose based on looks. And when faced with an older, beautiful sister, there's no way they wouldn't fall for her. After experiencing heartbreak twice because of my sister, I chose a university far away. I lived by myself while working part-time and stayed there after landing a job. I never returned home because who knows what my sister would do. Now, she's married and a mother to a child. I'd like to think she wouldn't make a move on my husband, the man who's now my husband, but I can't let my guard down. People don't change that easily, I believe. When we went home to announce our marriage, my sister wasn't there. I sent a marriage announcement card, but got no reaction. I have a bad feeling about this. I mutter. To which my husband, who knows the whole situation, says with an easy smile, "Well, it'll probably be fine. We're far apart, and it's not like we'll see each other often." He's laughing now, but can he keep laughing if he meets my sister? Even my past boyfriends, who said it would be fine, ended up not fine once my sister came onto them. Still, Greg is a mature 30-year-old man. I don't think he'd stray just because a beautiful woman came onto him. At least, that's what I want to believe. It's not that I don't trust my husband, but it's my sister we're talking about. She's the type to steal her sister's boyfriend with a laugh and then discard him with another laugh, saying, "I can't believe you dated such a loser." I trust my husband far less than I do my sister. Then one day, I got a call from my sister. Reluctantly answering, thinking ignoring her would be childish, she greets me with, "Long time no see. I'm surprised you got married." I immediately regret picking up. "Though, you married quite late. I was married at 27, you know." She's only 2 years earlier than me, yet she makes it sound like a competition. My 5-year-old daughter is rumored to be a prodigy at her preschool. She's beautiful like me, thankfully not taking after her aunt. And then, she belittles me. "Aunt, that's me, isn't she?" After rambling about her perfect life, she gets to the point. "What's your husband like?" I sensed this question was coming. So, I say, "He's an average guy." "Income?" "Probably about half of what your husband makes." "Looks?" That's why I said average. "He's perfectly ordinary, just like me." "Sorry, Greg. In my eyes, you're the most handsome man in the world, but I have to downplay it to my sister." I apologize to my husband in my heart. "Huh, so he's just average all around." "That's what I've been saying, right?" "What does he do?" "He works at the same company as me." "What? An affair with your boss that led to a marriage of convenience?" "Like that would ever happen. We both were single and just dated normally before getting married." What kind of fantasy is that? Fuming, yet on the other end of the phone, my sister laughs heartily, saying, "Well, that's just like you. Wish you all the happiness. Hope your marriage lasts a long time." Before hanging up. Her words irked me to no end, and I was in a bad mood all day. A few days later, an unbelievable incident occurs. "Hey, Samantha. Want to grab lunch outside today?" My colleague and friend Nancy suggests. Agreeing, we head out and just as we reach the company lobby. Samantha. There you are. I was just about to have you paged at the reception. Perfect timing." Hearing my name, I turn around, grimacing and emitting a strange sound. Why? Because my sister, who should be living 2 hours away by train, was rushing over. "What are you doing here, sis? In a place like this?" "Just passing by on a trip," she says, as if it's a casual outing. Who says, just passing by on a trip, like it's a quick shopping run? Especially since this place isn't a tourist attraction or anything of the sort. With a suspicious excuse, my sister looks around and comments. Quite the impressive company." As if sizing it up. I have a bad feeling about this. "Please, husband, don't show up now." But just then, "Samantha," someone calls, and I'm done for. Turning around, I see several colleagues standing there, my husband among them. "Heading out for lunch?"
Yeah.
"Well. And who's this?" "Pleased to meet you. I'm Samantha's sister. She's always in your care." Ignoring my protests, my sister goes ahead and shakes hands. "Nice to meet you. I'm always grateful to your sister." "Wow. Handsome," my sister exclaims while shaking hands. "Wait a minute, Samantha. How is he just average?" "He's more handsome than my husband. Please take good care of him." My sister begins to sway in a manner that can only be described as target locked. "If you have any trouble with my sister, feel free to contact me," she says, handing over a note with her contact information and leaving. Why did she even have that ready?
See ya.
Leaving us dumbfounded, my sister departs. "Your sister is quite something." One of the colleagues present comments, and all I can do is return a wry smile. Then, suddenly, my sister calls again. I was going to ignore it, but after repeated calls, I reluctantly call back. "I'm going to Guam and I've decided to leave my daughter at our parents'." If anything happens, please help out. But our parents' place is quite far from here. Well, they're getting old and don't have much energy. But it'll be fine since it's over the weekend. Whether it's okay or not should be for the person taking up the task to decide, not the one asking. So, a trip to Guam with just your husband? I get needing a break, but still. As I speak, a man's voice can be heard in the background. Who are you talking to? Your husband's off today? It was a weekday, and I had called my sister back during my break at work. My sister's a household wife, and her husband's a regular office worker. Wasn't he supposed to be at work during the week? Just wait, I'm talking to my sister. Oh, Samantha. At that voice, I blurt out, wait a minute. My sister retorts, what? Who are you with right now? Don't tell me. Just ran into your husband by chance. We're in-laws after all, no need to worry. No need to worry. What? What are you talking about? Take care then. Ignoring my protests, my sister hangs up. Unbelievable. My shout echoes through the break room. Later, I find out that my niece was sent to stay at our parents' place. Apparently, my sister told them she was going to Guam with a friend. It seems the trip was planned to coincide with her husband's long business trip, hence why my niece was left with our parents. An affair trip, really? Unbelievable. My low murmur prompts a huh from my mom, but I just shake my head. Although she was angry at her sister, she said that it was not her niece's fault and came to her parents' house today, a holiday, to take care of her cute niece. Aunt Samantha, look. Isn't it cute? It really is, you did a great job. Amanda, my niece, innocently shows me her drawing of her beloved hamster. When I pat her head and praise her work, she giggles delightedly, ahihe. Indeed, my niece is very cute and will surely grow up to be a beauty. I clench my fist, resolved to protect her pure heart from becoming like her mother's. But then, the situation takes a sudden turn. Soon after, a scream from my niece sends the house into chaos. With the next day off too and staying at my parents', I was kept busy. In the midst of it all, my sister calls. Wondering why she'd call at such a time, yet thinking maybe she's worried about her daughter, I answer only to regret it as her carefree voice greets me, hey, there. How are ya? I'm busy right now, what is it? Oh, just that Guam is absolutely fantastic.
Ah.
Is that so? Is that so? I'm hanging up now. Wait. Guess who's sitting next to me? You're a friend, right?
Yeah.
So, your husband, what's he up to? Greg? What about him? He's not there, right? Must be out, I guess. Her insinuating tone annoys me, but I take a deep breath and respond patiently. What do you want? Oh, are you on the phone again? Suddenly, a man's voice comes through, to which my sister laughs and responds. Just a sec, Greg. Oh, did you hear that voice? Though I think to myself that it must be deliberate, I reply, didn't hear anything. It's just too bothersome to engage.
Ah.
Really? That's too bad. Just kidding. You probably did hear but are pretending not to, right? Sorry, it's just me being happy. Look, I'm really busy, can we talk later? Don't say that, it'll be over quickly. You see, that trip to Guam with your husband was absolutely fantastic. Bold statement, that one. But my heart doesn't race. On that front, I'm quite calm. Perhaps thinking my silence over the phone meant I was shaken, my sister didn't wait for my reply and continued. So, I'm gonna bring back souvenirs for you. Someone I'm with will bring them back, so we can enjoy them together. Guess she's not even trying to hide it anymore, which is just appalling. Oh, by the way, what do you want for a souvenir? Something sweet? Look. I couldn't play along any longer and said. Right now, we're in the middle of Amanda's funeral. Huh? Her response came after a pause. Didn't you hear? Your daughter, my niece Ree, is having her funeral. What? What are you? Stop joking. I would never joke about life and death. Besides, pausing for a moment, I looked up at the person standing beside me and said, my husband is right here, you know? What? Over the phone, I could hear her panicked. Wait, what does that mean? But I ignored it and hung up. Snorting in disdain, the one who gave me a wry smile was unmistakably my husband, Greg. A few hours later, Amanda. Someone burst into our family home, screaming at the top of their lungs. Needless to say, it was my sister. Turns out, she was a mother after all. She must have taken the first flight back. My sister, with a frantic look on her face, rushed into the living room where we were relaxing. What do you mean Amanda's funeral? Right after she stormed in, she stopped short, eyes wide. What? To her surprise, a young voice asked, Mommy? What do you mean Amanda's funeral? Tears began to well up in my niece's eyes. Just when she had stopped crying. Remembering probably made her sad all over again. Mommy, Hammy. She pointed to the empty hamster cage and then handed my sister a small box. It contained the ashes of the hamster, Hammy. Wait, what? As my sister looked to me for an explanation, I said, Amanda's beloved hamster passed away suddenly yesterday. He was quite old, so it was his time. Amanda's funeral was just now.
Ah.
That. I meant to say it was the funeral for Amanda's beloved hamster. Did that not come across? How could that possibly come across? My sister's exclamation echoed through our family home. Ignoring that, I turned my attention to the person she had brought along. And who might you be? Pointing at the man. Slumped to the floor, my sister snapped back. What are you talking about? That's your husband, isn't it? Why should I be the one getting snapped at? Like I said earlier, my husband is right here. Enough! Stop joking around. Fuming, my sister finally turned to look at the man sitting beside me. Who is that? That exceedingly ordinary-looking man. How rude. That's my husband, Greg. Huh? With widened eyes, my sister watched as Greg, smiling wryly, bowed his head and said, Nice to meet you, I'm Samantha's husband. Then, who is this Greg over here? He's someone else with the same name, Greg. What? Yes, the person standing next to my sister, by sheer coincidence, also happens to be named Greg. And both my husband and I know him well. But at work, you said this guy was your husband. I never said that. This Greg is a friend from high school who coincidentally ended up at the same company. We became close because we shared the same name as my husband, Greg. Then, friend Greg introduced me to my now husband Greg, and we started dating and eventually got married. That makes no sense. What's all this? The one not making sense is you. Bursting into the company out of nowhere, ignoring my husband Greg and giving your number to friend Greg. And Greg, what's with this I'm grateful to your sister thing? Always a ladies' man. Everyone was just stunned. My sister stood speechless at my words. That day, when my sister made an unexpected visit to the company. The man we ran into while I was about to go to lunch with my friend turned out to be a few male colleagues, including friend Greg and my husband Greg. It seems my sister only has eyes for handsome men. She was fixated on friend Greg, and my ordinary husband who blends into the crowd didn't catch her eye. But you were calling Samantha by her first name. Well,
Yeah.
we've been friends since high school. I call him Nick, too. As I smiled brightly, my sister then glared at friend Nick. Why didn't you correct me? I asked you, didn't I? Why did you marry such an ordinary sister? Well, I didn't deny it, but I didn't confirm it either. I just said that I find Lily more attractive than Samantha. Friend Nick muttered something about ending their friendship. My sister's face went from red to pale in rapid succession. Nick, you're also to blame. Why go after a married woman? My husband spoke with a hint of anger. Nick shrugged helplessly. Well, she said she was divorced and asked to officially start dating. Though I was just in it for fun, you know? What did you say? My sister's face turned beet red again at Nick's words. What's that? Our thing was just for fun? A man's voice interjected. Then, were you serious about me? Of course, I was. I went as far as getting a divorce. Wait, what? Realizing that those words weren't coming from the Gregs in front of her, my sister slowly turned towards the door leading into the living room. And her eyes widened impossibly wide. You? Why are you here? Weren't you on a business trip? The client canceled last minute, and the trip ended early. Came home to find nobody there, which surprised me. I was about to call you when Samantha called, saying you were here. So, what's this about you divorcing me? That was just a joke? My sister stood there, dumbfounded. Above her, still slumped on the floor, came Nick's voice. Hey, what's this about? You're not actually divorced? So, you were just playing with me too? And here you were blaming me. Don't mess with me. What did you say? A woman who lies about something as serious as divorce has no place in my life. Nick deeply apologized to my sister's husband, despite not knowing the full situation. I'm terribly sorry for what happened. I know money can't fix this, but I'll pay for the damages. With that, he handed over his business card as a means of contact and left. Wait, Greg. I was serious about you. The cold voice of her husband was what met my sister as she tried to cling to him. Snapping back to reality, she was met with eyes as cold as his voice. Wait, you. It was just a little joke. I'm tired of your lies. What? All those times you said you were taking care of the kids while I was on business trips, going out with friends. It was all lies. Including the lie about us getting divorced. That is, well. But, it's sad you've become a liar. Eh? Confused by what her husband was saying, he nodded as if coming to an understanding. So, let's get divorced. That way, what you said won't be lies anymore. Eh? Well, the fact that we're getting divorced, not already divorced, is a bit different, but that's a minor detail, within the margin of error. Wait, hold on. Of course, I will ask for alimony, I will have custody of her, and I will raise Amanda. I will also ask her to pay child support. Wait. No waiting. From now on, we communicate through lawyers. Amanda, let's go home. With that, he reached out to our niece. She looked puzzled. Going home? Yes. He nodded. Wait just a minute. You're taking a daughter away from her mother. Thinking she could leverage the child, my sister shouted. He thought about it for a moment. Amanda, would you be sad without mommy? No, I won't be sad. What? You're okay without me? Because mommy, when daddy's not here, is always gone. She tells me to watch TV and goes out, coming back late at night. Dinner is always just a cold boxed meal, and she makes me take a bath alone even though I'm scared. Lily, you? It was apparently news to him. Furious, her husband glared at my sister. What? It's your fault for dumping childcare on me. You said you'd be a full-time mom, show me how great you could raise our child. On weekdays I get it, but I was the one taking care of her on weekends, thinking you were tired. You've been deceiving me all this time. That's because. Enough. I'll have a thorough talk with your affair partner too. Discuss the next steps with a lawyer. Wait, please. I don't care. Amanda, let's go. Yes.
Bye.
Mommy. As my sister reached out, her daughter simply waved.
Goodbye.
Easily letting go. My sister slumped, defeated, as the door shut mercilessly behind them. Eventually, after discussions, my sister and her husband divorced. It turned out she had been unfaithful with more than just friend Nick, leading to a divorce entirely her fault. Her visit to my workplace and the supposed vacation was actually an affair trip. Friend Nick ended up paying alimony to her husband. Feeling guilty, he left the company, saying it was a man's way of taking responsibility. Though I thought it was unnecessary, he insisted it was about integrity. As for my sister, "Don't come back until you've paid off your debts," our parents told her, kicking her out. Being a homemaker, there was no way she could pay the alimony or child support, so our parents covered it. They didn't expect the money back, but it was the only way they could see their granddaughter, Amanda. With nowhere to live and unable to return home, my sister contacted me. "I knew it was strange. You married to such a handsome man. All right. Take that as a declaration of war. Don't ever contact me again." She called back multiple times in a panic, saying, "I'm sorry, it was all my fault. I won't take your men anymore," but I cut her off without a word and blocked her number. What happened to my sister after being abandoned by everyone, I don't know. Someone from the neighborhood mentioned seeing someone who looked like Lily, but she was so gaunt, it hardly seemed like her. Whether it was truly her or not, I'm uncertain, but it's likely I'll never see my sister again. What a day. It's been tough, huh? As I stretched my shoulders, Greg, my husband, handed me a warm glass of milk with a wry smile. "Thank you," I said, looking at him intently. "What? You're making me blush." "No, just thinking, you're a good man."
Ha!
That kind of praise, only you would say, Samantha. Well, that's fine by me. Knowing your worth is enough for just me. Laughing together, he hugged me tightly.